So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
Sorry guys, I know it's a bit dark. Oh, I've been... Okay, I needed to update you on a few things. Number one is my diet's going well. It's a given, basically. I'm doing really well with that, but I turned a corner where I considered using my blender, trying to learn Blender. I've kind of turned a corner. As before, I absolutely hated Blender so much that I wanted to scream and chuck the computer out the window. I went on a wiki and I've been reading up on some of the tools of Blender, and as I learn more about Blender and how to transform Blender and move Blender around, which is really giving me a headache. It's really difficult for me. I don't know why, but it's so difficult for me. Picking up on the things that you need to do to manipulate mesh and to deform mesh and do all the stuff you need to do with mesh to make 3D models. I'm looking at Blender now and I'm saying that Blender is actually really good at what it does and what it's for. It's fantastic as a 3D manipulation tool. At the beginning I was all like, I hate Blender. Right now I understand why Blender is the way it is. And you have to learn each small part of Blender to understand why it's constructed the way it is. It's because manipulating 3D objects is, and creating 3D objects and actually sculpting 3D objects is very complicated. And what Blender does, when you understand how to work it, is make that complicated process less time consuming. I know it sounds strange. If you're learning Blender right now, you're probably thinking, that man is crazy. But I'm telling you right now, I have not lost my mind. Blender is constructed in such a way that it actually helps. And you have to learn how to use everything in it. You can't just go, I want to make this and just do that, because you're going to hit pitfalls, you're going to hit walls, you're going to hit places where you don't know how to do something, and there is something within Blender which would help you do that if you knew how to work it. Weight painting is less scary for me now because I understand that the main bone has to have full influence and the end bone going into the next bone, so you've got like this bone, should have full influence. When it comes to the joint, you should have less influence going off, tapering into nothing, straight into the next bone. Then the next bone starts from the joint, right, and goes down, so less influence, all influence, less influence, tapering off to nothing. And each time layering the weight painting back onto itself so that your joints move with the other joint. And that is the same for chest, because if you let's think clothing. If you're moving your hand down or your arm down into your clothing moves in as you move in. So I do this and my clothing moves in. If you don't attach weight paint from that arm part here to this here, so that it pushes it in, and not much, just like blue or yellow, you know, a little bit of thing, so that when it does that, it gives. Not so that it goes and pushes in, but when it just slightly gives as you come in. And that's how weight painting works. Influence, that's why they call it heat. Because it's like, if you touch something, if it's really cool, then you can put your hand on it and then remove it. If it's warm, you can just about put your hand on it. But if you if it's hot, you want to take it off straight away, and that's what it is. The mesh goes, that's hot, it goes, instead of squish. And just these things that are like clicking in my head right now are making modeling much easier. However, even though I'm getting to know all this, I am miles and years, decades even, away from making my own 3D models. I do not have an artistic mind. I have a constructive mind. I can use programs. So even if I can manipulate a art program, which I cannot drawing it. And that is where I'm going to fall short. I can manipulate, I can weight paint, I can rig. I could do that. I can make simple mesh, I can make simple weapons. I could probably even go as far as making simple household objects, but if it came to the face or anything like that, I am gonna fall short. So making characters is not something I'm gonna be able to do, unfortunately. I'm gonna be able to Frankenstein some monsters, some bodies together that are already created and weight paint them so that they work right. I could do that, that's no problem, but I won't be able to make it from scratch, and I know that. And there's one model that I really want to use, and it's getting very dark, so I do apologize. It's going to get really red. I do apologize, but I am going to be using this because I needed to talk about it. When it comes to the mesh, when it comes to the model that I want, and this is my concept for a model, and it's been working on in my mind for a while now, and I want to do it so bad that I've actually thrown my arms out towards a 3D modeler that can do it for me, because I had to. That's going to take I'm not going to talk about how much money it's going to cost, okay? Because I don't want people going, oh, Jason, you don't want to be spending that much money on just a 3D model. I'm telling you right now, I want this. Like if someone wants a car, or somebody wants an Xbox, or somebody wants a TV, I want this. I want to have an idemic, is that idemic word? I want a presence in virtual reality. I want to be something different. I want to be something which is me, which I feel is me. I might not even use it that much. I probably will actually probably use it fucking constantly, but that's neither here nor there. Even if I didn't use it that much, that's what I want. And I play a lot of VR chat, you know that. And I want to have a chimp, but I don't want any average chimp. I want a monkey, biped monkey, standing on its hind legs, wearing a suit, right? A three-piece suit, right? Styled in 1920s gangster, wearing a trilby, Tommy gun extra. I'm going to actually use just normal Tommy gun. I'm going to be able to make that myself. Don't need the Tommy gun. Okay, I just want the character, the character. I want that so that I can put that into VR chat, and I found someone who'll do it for me. It's going to take a long time before I get this a model. It's going to take a long time, but it's there and it's coming. I'm going to have a 1920s gangster chimp, and I'm losing light, so I've got to stop this now. And I'm loving it. I'm seriously getting to the point where I feel like I'm doing what I want to do, and I'm happy about it. Not going to talk about money because it's got nothing to do with anyone, what I spend my money on or what I do with my money, because quite frankly, it's my money and I can do what I want with it. You can't take it with you, and I actually despise money, if any of you really want to know. When it comes to money, I think it is a gross misinjustice to everyone who has to use it. And I totally believe 100% that we already own everything on this planet. Everyone on the planet owns everything on this planet, right? And just because we process it or do anything with it It should just be readily available for everyone. There would be no starving, there'd be no famine, and people would share equally. Now, yes, I understand 100% that eventually the resources would run out, but if we work together, we could use it to produce other resources that we could use instead of those resources. We could pool our funds and get ourselves out of this shit and actually make industry and everything else work better than it does, because it is destroying the environment and killing us slowly, and it's money that's doing it. And that's just that's how I feel, 100%. So money, you can stick money up your ass. As far as I'm concerned, it's all about people, it's about love, and it's about how spending your time on this planet as you want to live it. So that's the way I live my life. If I want to do something, I'm not going to be afraid to do it. I'm just going to do it. You're probably wondering, where are my glasses? In fact, I don't know. A couple of seconds. Right. I don't know if you were wondering that. Okay, so I haven't made many vlog entries this week. I think I made one. I think I've done one. This is my second one, I think. I might be wrong. I don't know how many I've done. This might be the third. Maybe. I've been busy. I've been busy learning Blender, and I'm actually getting somewhere. Like, it's weird, but I think I'm actually getting somewhere. Weight painting isn't so hard when you realize exactly how bones and cloth work and how the weight painting works. Like, really understand it. Like, not like, oh, this is how you weight paint, but this is how weight painting works. As in, the movement of cloth to the movement of metal to the movement of wood. I mean, yeah, okay, wood and metal are pretty much almost the same. There's more give with wood, but not much. But cloth, the way that cloth moves when you move your arms in, you don't really think about it, but as you move in, your cloth moves with your arm. Now let's say, right, for weight painting purposes, that my arm, like that, is weight painting perfectly, but the side of my chest, where my arm moves down, right, isn't. When I move down, my hand will clip through my clothes because my clothes won't move. Because nothing's telling it to move. Because my arm doesn't exist. Now let's say I wanted that cloth on the side of my body to move with my arm. I have to think about which arms would push that cloth in, right? And then attach to that arm, to the cloth, a weight paint gradient enough to push it slightly in when my arm goes down. So you have to think, how does cloth move? And then animate it. So weight painting is animation. It's not paint. It's animation. You're painting animation onto something. And weight painting works, or weight works on a lot of other things in Blender. And when you understand weight and painting and stuff, you start to get into bevels and twists and just wow. There's so much you can do with Blender when you start learning how to use it. Your mind is crazy. There's so much to do with it. At the moment, I have learned the basics. Without a doubt. I learned the basics of how to deform and to move mesh around. That was the first step. The second step was learning how it works in terms of how to sculpt mesh. And believe it or not, most objects are not sculpted by sculpting. They're sculpted by modifiers. I mean, you do the modeling, And there are people, don't get me wrong, there are people that will like lay mesh around to make the rough look of something. And then when they've got the rough look of something, they add modifiers to vertices on the data to mold that around where they want it into its shape like clay. And it is crazy. And I'm getting it. I'm slowly getting it. And with that and my ability to make animations in Unity, and to be honest, I'll be totally honest with you, when it comes to animations in Unity, when they are put into VR chat, there are times when that animation will break because VR chat have different bugs which cause problems with animations. And if they're simple animations, they're fine. Blink in, fingers, movement of body, movement of bones. It's fine. Movement of bones is fine. Dances are fine. Dances work perfectly. Music only works if they're a certain decibel. Any higher than that and VR chat has a problem running it. So louder, that's why when you get into worlds, I don't know if you've played VR chat, but you get into worlds where there are loud, bassy music, you don't hear it clearly. And you want to know why? Because VR chat can't process that over the FTP. It's too much information. So what happens is you end up getting a break on certain notes. Like there's a break in it. And some of your songs, because of this, are going to break because VR chat can't broadcast it because it's too complicated. Anything that's too complicated with VR chat breaks. The only way to do a really complicated animation is to have prop calls that you yourself activate. So let's say, there are other ways as well. I mean, you can do like, yeah, but it's mostly prop calls that you do yourself with gestures. So you think, right, what do I want to do with this tune? What do I want it to do? And then you got to break that animation up into small bite-sized chunks. So you can only have one thing that your tune does, your avatar does. Only one, unless you want to do something simple like call music. That's fine. If you want to just do music, you're good. You can put like as many as you want on it. But if you want a complex animation, I want to pull out this hat at a certain point during a song, or I want to like pull out certain objects. You have to have all of those object calls on different gestures. Then you use one hand to activate the music, and the other hand you're gesturing for the items that you pull out. This then simplifies the animation and makes it easier to make the animation. So you think, right, I'll break it up. This is music, so I do this. Is music one thing, just pull out music. Then this hand then pulls out props, so like on like peace and thumbs up and rock and roll. And you just go like, I want a hat at this point, I want a at this point, and you pull out those animation links. That's how people do complex animations when they're in VR chat. Now, there is another way of doing it, and I don't know what it is, because someone called Beelzebub, I think his name is. He's I'll be honest with you, he is amazing, right? Can pull out certain objects and do certain things. And I don't know if he does it I don't know if he does it the same way. It's possible that he does. Like pulling the animation, like breaking a window is this animation. I think that's what he does. So he has like all of them on it, and he pulls out his tools and then like gestures for different things when he needs them. And that's it. You just break the animation up into certain bite-sized chunks so that VR chat doesn't break. Now that I know that, going forward making complex animations is a lot simpler. However, it does mean that doing those complex animations, and there are some animations that you can't do that with, be honest with you, like explosions and stuff like that. I mean, I could do particle effects without doing prop calls. So there are ways. But you have to think around it. You have to troubleshoot it. Because you can't make a complicated animation, but you have to find a way of doing it. And you know what? It keeps my mind going and it keeps my work playing. And when I actually make something and it looks good and it works, it's fantastic. But like behind the scenes, when you're doing it, it don't feel as good. Like people are watching it, they're loving it, right? People are watching it. But you behind the scenes, you know how it works. And it's like a magic trick. You're not going to get as much enjoyment out of it because you can't watch it yourself. It's just the way it is. Don't make any. There are some ones that like I can like give to other people to do, but there are certain avatars I have where they love it and they go, "Can I have that?" And you're like, "If I gave you that, you wouldn't love it. You just wouldn't, because you'd know that this does this and this breaks and and stuff breaks and you have to do it in a certain order." It's just the way it is. Now, going to my losing my weight. Remember, I put on 2 pounds over the 2 weeks. I lost those 2 pounds and I lost a further 2.5 pounds, meaning that I've lost 4.5 pounds this week. That is awesome. Ongoing, I am close to my 6.5 stone award, which I'm going for this week. I didn't do much, to be honest. I didn't do much yesterday to do it. For some reason, I went mad, but I didn't go mad on high-fat foods. I went mad on low-calorie stuff. So it's all good. We're still in the running. And today I had rice, which is all right. It's all good because later on I'm going to be having fish. So it balances. So it's all good. I'm going for... at the moment, it doesn't feel like I'm going to get half my own body weight off in a year. But having that goal and going for it has allowed me to lose quite a lot of weight. A lot of weight. So I'm going to continue to do this. I'm going to continue to run at the speed I'm running and see where I land, see where I finish. Because by the end of the year, I want a significant amount of weight loss. And then I'm going to have a bit of a break because I'm going to be doing Christmas and I'm going to enjoy my Christmas. And I don't think anyone will begrudge me that. And then after that, I'm going to come out of the gate running again. And I think, like with this year and next year in tow, I'm going to reach my goal. I'm going to reach my goal by mid next year. And then at mid next year, I'm going on a cruise. In fact, I'm going to Greece. On a boat. Fully inclusive. It's going to be fun. Hopefully I'll be at my weight goal and I'll be in like really good clothes and I'll be wearing what I want to wear, which is 1920s gangster style, or that's what I want to do. I want to be chinos and stuff when I go out. Normally I want to be wearing cargo pants and just like, but we'll see how I feel, because I'll be at a certain way and I'll be able to wear whatever I want. And if I want to dress up as a 1920s gangster in a trilby, I will.
Thanks for watching the Great Fishes video. I hope you all have a great day. If you could subscribe, that would be heavenly. Throw my friend a like and share with your friends. And he will hopefully see you next time. Till then, peace be with you.